There's something strangely quiet about being a man. Not the kind of quiet you notice, not the silence of an empty room, but the kind that builds inside someone over years, layer by layer, until one day it becomes the loudest thing they carry. No one really prepares you for it. No one sits you down when you're young and tells you what it means. They just hand you a few simple rules. Be strong, don't cry, protect others, handle it. And somehow, without realizing it, you begin learning how to disappear inside yourself, because being a man often means learning how to feel everything and show almost nothing. You learn to hide your fear, to swallow your sadness, to laugh when you're tired, to say, "I'm fine," so naturally that eventually even you start believing it, or at least pretending to. And maybe that's the hardest part. Not the pain, not the responsibility, not even the loneliness, but the fact that so much of it must be carried in silence. You're expected to keep moving, to keep providing, to keep solving problems, even when you are the problem, even when your mind feels heavy, even when something inside you feels like it's slowly falling apart. No one teaches men how to talk about that, so most of them don't. They just become quieter. They bury themselves in work, in distractions, in routines, in anything that keeps them from sitting alone with thoughts they don't know how to name. And yet, people often mistake silence for strength. But silence is not always strength. Sometimes silence is exhaustion. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's a man who has been carrying too much for too long and no longer knows where to put it. Because there is a loneliness that comes with being a man that few people talk about. Not because men are physically alone. Many have friends, families, people around them. But still, there are thoughts they never say out loud, worries they never share, moments where they sit in complete darkness, staring at the ceiling, asking themselves questions they cannot answer. Am I enough? Am I failing? How much longer can I keep doing this? And perhaps the cruelest part is that they often feel ashamed for even asking. Because somewhere along the way, many men were taught that struggling quietly is noble, that pain should be endured, not expressed, that vulnerability makes you weak, so they carry everything alone, their fears, their responsibilities, their regrets, their pressure, their heartbreak, all of it, quietly, and still. They wake up the next day, they go to work, they answer messages, they make jokes, they show up, as if nothing is wrong, as if their mind isn't exhausted, as if their heart isn't heavier than it was yesterday. There is something heartbreaking about that, but also something beautiful, because despite everything, men keep going, not because they don't feel pain, but because they do, and they move anyway. There is courage in that. Real courage, not the kind people celebrate, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet kind, the kind that looks like getting out of bed when your thoughts are against you, the kind that looks like protecting others while trying to hold yourself together, the kind that looks like carrying responsibilities no one even notices, the kind that looks like trying again after failing, trying again after disappointment, trying again after life has made you tired. And maybe being a man is not about pretending to be unbreakable. Maybe it never was. Maybe strength was never meant to mean silence. Maybe strength is being honest enough to admit when something hurts. Maybe courage is saying, "I'm tired, I'm struggling, I need help." Because no man should have to become a stranger to his own emotions just to be accepted. No man should feel that his worth depends only on what he can provide. No man should believe he must earn the right to be cared for. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be overwhelmed. You are allowed to be human. That does not make you less of a man. If anything, it makes you more of one. Perhaps the strongest men are not those who hide their pain best. Perhaps they are the ones brave enough to face it, to understand it, to speak it, to carry it without letting it harden them. Because the world does not need more emotionally silent men. It needs men who can remain kind despite pain, men who can remain gentle despite pressure, men who can remain open despite disappointment, men who know that strength and softness can exist together, And if you are carrying something heavy right now, something no one else sees, something you have been trying to handle alone, please remember this. You do not have to carry it in silence forever. Even the strongest shoulders need rest, even the strongest hearts need comfort, and even the strongest men need to be heard.